Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday as promised. Today I will be vlogging. I decided to just do a vlog today and not blog because it's one of my favorite things to do. It's really, really early. That's why you see the bags in my eyes. I'm looking crazy. But my kid is sick and this is very rare. So I decided let me go ahead and talk to you a little bit and for not too long because we are all busy moms and it's really, really crazy out there. But I wanted to continue on with my story. I left off with my mom leaving. When I had to make that decision for my mom to leave, it broke my heart. To look at her in her face and say to her, I think it's time for you to leave, really, really haunts me, but I knew it was the right thing to do. And I don't regret it, not at all, not one bit. It needed to be done, but it shouldn't have been my decision. I was 16 years old. You know, why would an adult put that on a 16-year-old girl who's trying to figure herself out, you know, who's in a place where I knew I had to be. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to go back home, and for me, home was New York, and she had me in Florida, and I didn't want to be here. You know, I was getting my feet on the ground. I had friends, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't home to me, and you know, I was still trying to figure that out. And to have problems at home when all my life, literally all my life, I didn't even know my parents had fights. I didn't know how unhappy they were. And it really, really, really devastated me. But I had to move on. I had to continue because my dad needed me to. My mom needed me to. And there was nothing I could do. I couldn't grieve. With that being said, we moved on. I had a bunch of issues with my brother where we physically like altercated, me and my brother. He is 6 years older than me, but I think he took it harder than I did, and it was hard for him. So there I go, this 16-year-old girl having to deal with being, you know, a junior in high school and basically pretending that everything was okay at home so that my family could get through this, not me, because it didn't matter. I had to pretend and help my family, my brother, my father, my mother get through this. You know, I don't want it to make it seem like my mom was the bad person. She did what she could, what she understood, what she thought was right in her eyes, and my father did the same. But we went through another scenario where my mom, you know, found a new family and tried to force it on us, and we were not ready. And that was another issue, another hardship we had to go through, and something that I had to just be like okay with. So being the teenager that I was, not that I rebelled, so to speak, because I wasn't disrespectful, but I did things that I shouldn't have done, all in the hopes of attention, you know? And it was hard. It was hard to do this by myself and, you know, put on a smile on my face and, you know, just to make her happy. And with that being said, I did, you know, whatever I could to, I don't know, I guess pretend you know, just to kind of make it through. So I pretty much faked it till I made it. Towards the end of my senior year, I almost didn't graduate. I had to do night school, and was threatened by my mom if I didn't graduate, I was gonna get it, and I knew it was true. You know, to this day, I'm 34 years old, and you know, my mom's threats pretty much still scare me. More of a respect thing, you know. I know, but just the simple fact that, you know, I respect her. I had to graduate, so I did. I graduated. A year later, I moved to New York and met my husband. So that was fun. We actually moved in together like a month after I moved to New York, and it was hard for me because I was 18 years old, turning 19, and I've never really lived with anyone else but my parents, and we would go weeks with like literally not even having conversations because we'd be mad at each other, and we would just kind of like be roommates in a one-bedroom apartment in Yonkers. And that happened for about 2 years. Then my mom had got sick where she thought she might need a liver transplant, so I had to move with I had to move back. I had to move back with her, make sure she was okay, make sure that I can help her whatever way I could. Turns out she didn't need a liver transplant. The medication she was taking was helping her. See, her own liver kind of was attacking itself, and they didn't know why, but they did find a medication that was able to help her. So that was a blessing. Then a few months later, my husband ended up deciding, he was my boyfriend at the time, decided to move to Florida to be with me, and that was fun. He came here with an expectancy of getting a good job, getting good pay, and that didn't work out. There was a lot of stress, and then I got pregnant. So we lived in this one-bedroom condo that I purchased so that we can have a place called our own, and I'm pregnant, so I had to sell right away. And during that time of my pregnancy, I've always had this problem with passing out. Didn't know why. I would just literally not feel well and I would pass out. And it was happening to me since I was about 16 years old, but never as frequent. It happened to me. It was very rare. It happened once in a blue moon. And when I was pregnant, it was constantly happening. And they couldn't figure out why. They couldn't figure out why I would have these seizure-like activities and no idea why. So I remember I must have been about 7 months pregnant, helping as a medical assistant. I was assisting my physician with a circumcision, and I looked at her and said, "I don't feel good." And she says, "You don't look good," and I pass out while she was in the middle of a circumcision with a brand new baby boy. And that was just the beginning. That was just the beginning. You know, they rushed me. They took care of me there. They rushed me to the hospital, and the baby was okay. She is 10 years old now, so she's amazing. But that was just the beginning of my medical issues. And we will follow that up next week, because I feel like you had enough of just the calm part of my life. That was honestly the calm part of my life. The medical issues just was the beginning of something that seriously changed my life. And you will find out more about all the medical issues, like the problems that I went through next week on my next vlog. I'll probably video it too. I can, or maybe I'll type it up. I wrote my story several times. I guess I can do that too. But thank you for taking the time today. It is an amazing Sunday. It is 9/11. I just want to, you know, do one quick, you know, blessing to all my 9/11 survivors and survivors of the ones who have fallen. Also, we have some that was, you know, close to our heart. Nothing severely close, so I was blessed. But yes, I just want to, you know, let you guys know that, you know, don't forget about that today. It's a very important day for us here, and it should never be forgotten. So God bless. Remember, always live in the light and do things with purpose. Love you. Bye.